Good morning and welcome to Martensville. It's the curling stadium, Martensville International, draw 11. And our feature match, Team Jennifer Jones against Team Silvana Tirinzoni. Two heavyweights in the game. My name is Jason Chang. I'll be bringing you the action from the ice to your device. Both teams coming into this game, their fourth match of 5 in the preliminary round, 2-1 records. So a very important game here. You get yourself to 3-1 and you're pretty much into the playoffs, 2-2, and you're still scrapping till the end. Team Tirinzoni, they won the last stone draw. They have Hammer playing the blue stones. But a good start for the Jennifer Jones team. They've got a couple in the rings, and now they're throwing up another center guard. Nicely done. Team Tirinzoni, Silvana Tirinzoni, she's the skip that throws the third stones. We know who the fourth stone thrower is. The cool and calm Alina Pets. They've been together over the last quadrennial. New front end for them, though. Carol Howard and Briar Hurleman, second and lead, respectively. Meanwhile, we've talked a lot about this, and the media's talked a lot about this as well. Jennifer Jones teaming up with the Mackenzie Zacharias rink. They've got Carly Burgess, Emily Zacharias, and Lauren Lenentine. We'll see what lineup they're playing today. They have played all 5 players this week. One of the constants we've seen during this tournament has been Carly Burgess throwing the third stones, Mackenzie Zacharias throwing the second stones. So I think we're seeing that again in this match. I think they used that same combination when they played last weekend in Quebec. They made the semifinals in that event. Jen Jones came off a very tough loss to Daniela Jensch in their last match yesterday. They seemingly had the match in control twice in that game. They were up by 5 after stealing 5 in the first end. Team Jensch clawed back, closed the gap to 5-4. Then Jennifer made a really good double to score 3 and open up a 4-point lead in the second half of the game. But once again, Daniela, she gets 3 right back, steals 1, and steals the 8th end to win it over Jennifer Jones. So they must not have felt great after that game. I'm sure they debriefed. And we'll get resettled here today to Silvana Tirinzoni. As mentioned, 2-1 is her record. They opened with a win against Ashley Howard, then a win over Daniela Jensch. They lost to Clancy Grandy, who's leading the standings right now on the women's side of the draw at 3-0. Actually, Eunji Yim is actually now leading the standings after last night. They are 4-0, of course, so that's a lock for a playoff spot at 4-0. Nancy Martin, the local team from Saskatchewan, having a good tournament so far, 3-1. And as mentioned, Jennifer Jones, Silvana Tirinzoni, they're at 2-1. Chelsea Carey, Daniela Jensch, and Christy Watling, 2-2. Trying to battle for a playoff spot. The Korean team, Sun Young Ha, 1-3, along with Ashley Howard, looking for their first win. Lorraine Schneider, 0-3, and Brett Barber at 0-4. Team Jones still sitting shot and second shot stone. Their shot stone is half open now. They'll want to put up a tight guard here. Here is Carly Burgess, the third stone thrower this weekend. It's her second stone of the end. So we are getting down to the last of the vice stones. That guard just over curled a bit. With the amount of curl in the ice, you can definitely make a play on that red stone with a quiet tap weight hit. Roll it behind the red stone that's in the top 12. Kind of make use of it as a corner guard. Really well controlled. Does make the hit. Rolls behind. More of a tap and roll. I think the Jennifer Jones team, that red stone that they moved is still shot stone, so I think that makes the decision very easy. Just try to draw in there, top 4, top button. That same out turn, counterclockwise draw. First stone here for Team Jones in the first end. A lot of rocks in play. Not unexpected when you are the Jennifer Jones team. She's always had an aggressive style. This rock looking very nice. Sweepers trying to drag it to the top of the button. Wonderfully managed and a great touch there by Jennifer Jones. As mentioned, a new lineup for this start of the new quadrennial for this Swiss team. Of course, anchored by last thrower Alina Patz. Silvana Tirinzoni throws third, holds the broom. They've been together for the past 4 seasons, winning 3 world championships together, 2019, 2021, and 2022. They're trying to hit the red onto blue and try to redirect onto the red shot stone. Instead, the red guard caroms into the other red stone on the left side of the rings and rolls right behind the center. So it is Team Jones now sitting 1, 2, and I believe 3 in the back of the 8. And now you've just got to guard the situation. I think it'll be very difficult for Team Tirinzoni to even score here. Those 2 red stones are pretty much frozen on the button and the top of the forefoot. You can't even run that blue stone in the top 12 as you see it, because you're not going to get both of them out. Well, just like yesterday's game against Team Yench, Team Jones off to a good start in the first end. Opportunity to steal at least one, maybe even 2 or 3 here. Trying to close up this port. Probably still a tiny hole there, but I'm not sure that's going to be the play. I'm guessing Alina Pats might just try to draw for second shot stone here, try to catch a piece of the button and give Team Jones their single point. Yeah, they've elected to play the in-turn clockwise draw. I haven't seen this side of the ice as much. Most of the play has been coming in from the opposite side. Teams, of course, did half practice before and did a draw to the button for last stone advantage. So they should have a good idea of both sides of the ice. But as you all know, as you go through the practice and go through the first and second ends, usually the ice will change a little bit, usually speed up a little bit with some more play. So under pressure already in the first end, Alina Pets looking for a piece of the button just to give up a single. Facing 3. In fact, they might have decided to just hit the back stone instead and give up 2, thinking they can't get to shot stone. So it is an opening steal of 2 for Team Jones, and they're off to a great start here in Martensville.
Imagine a place with endless possibilities. Imagine a place where people come together to build families, businesses, and communities. Imagine a place where small-town values and progressive qualities are in perfect harmony. Imagine a place rich with so much vitality. Imagine your future in Martensville.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Second end just underway for this match. Team Jones with that steal of 2 in the first end. Silvana Tirinzoni retains last rock in the second end. A really well played end from Team Jones. They had Team Tirinzoni in a lot of trouble, and a very unfortunate break from the rock thrown by Alina Pats in her first. That really set up the steal of 2. Briar Hurleman, the new lead stone thrower for this Swiss team. Of course, this is Silvana Tirinzoni rank. They were playing with Esther Nunschwander II, Melanie Barbazat. They've moved on or retired from competitive curling. Esther had been with Silvana for a very long time, since the late 2000s. Down by 2, corner guard goes up for Team Tirinzoni. Expect Team Jones to throw up a tight center guard here. It actually slips into the rings. hit being called now for this Swiss lead. "28-year-old Briar Hurleman the 2015 World Junior bronze medalist, she is. And she is the daughter of Patrick Hurleman, if you recognize that name, the 1998 Olympic gold medalist in men's curling from the Nagano Olympics, of course beating Canada's Mike Harris in that final. Well, the Jones team has 2 rocks in the 12-foot, fairly spread out, so that would mean that they have a chance at least to force, but there is a corner guard up there. Team Tirinzoni's going to try to go around it, try to generate their 2 that way. The 4-foot is open right now, so Silvana not too concerned about scoring here. Unlike that first end where everything was completely congested. Good throw there by Mackenzie Zacharias, makes the hit, stays there. Not sure they wanted to stay there behind the corner because now Team Tirinzoni, if they go around, there's some backing. They can actually freeze to the stone. Nice throw there. That's why you didn't want to hit and stick. I think they were trying to hit and roll away towards the center. Now they're going to make a play on this blue stone. Try to actually tap it and move that red backing off. Probably can't get the blue stone out right now, but try to tap things back and sit in front of the blue. You can remove it later if needed. They do tap it, lose the backing. They don't quite sit right on top of it, but Team Jones is sitting 3. That's the good news. The blue stone is 4th shot right now, so as long as they can keep their rocks and closer than that blue one in the back, it won't come back to bite them. Briar Hurlman curling, trying to make the rock curl, and does a good job. The Bluestone will stay in the rings, but once again, Team Jones still first and second shot, I believe. Those Bluestones hanging in the back of the 12, third and fourth. So now the question is how aggressive you want to be if you're Team Jones. The conservative play is to make a hit on the back one, the open stone, and just sit 3 again. I think that's the best play for now. I mean, you can be aggressive, try to make a draw, but you'll leave a double if you try to draw behind your own stone. And with 3 Swiss stones remaining, there's a lot of opportunities to make a double and score multiples. So I think this is well advised. There's a hit and roll out. Well, now here's a chance for Team Tirinzoni to attack a bit. Play the hit on that red stone and roll behind. You can play the hit on the outside one, roll behind the red off-center rock on the top of the 12, or hit the red stone on the top 12 and roll behind the corner. You can also just draw right behind the red stone. This is not an easy roll, though. It is quite far. But you will be shot rock, even if you just roll it a bit. Does make the contact, rolls a little bit. It is shot stone. Team Jones, they're going to make a play on this. They're going to try to not to leave a double, but there probably will be some sort of a double left. Just depends how hard it is and whether Team Tirinzoni will want to take it on. Playing this rock inside out, center line out. There is a lot of curl going inside out we've seen this week. A lot of curl outside in as well. Super's helping this over. He's going to roll towards the middle, right behind her own stone. It does leave a double opportunity for Team Tirinzoni. They have to watch out for the jam, so it's not automatic. The crowd in Martensville already building for this 9 a.m. draw. Opportunity to watch a couple of superstars in the game. Of course, Jennifer Jones. Many will call her the GOAT in women's curling, at least in Canadian women's curling. And of course, Silvana Tirinzoni and Alina Pats, 3 world championships in the last 4 years. Had a great run through the round robin of the Olympic Games, undefeated, but then ran into a couple of hot teams in the playoff round. Unable to come away with that medal there, but Alina Pat's trying to play the double. She's not going to make contact with the second stone. Drives it right by. Rolls over. Well, now Team Jones has a decision to make here. But I think with a 2-point lead, the hit and roll in a little bit is the most advised. Try to sit 2 again. If she were down in the scoreline, she might have considered guarding her own red stone, but being up by 2, she wants to take very little risk here. Happy to give up a single point. She might not even want to roll right in front of her own stone. That makes the double easier. She might actually just look for a 1-foot roll to the right, just to make sure your first and second shot. Then that slash double, it's hard to hold the shooter. So Team Tirinzoni might just be resigned to take their single point at that point. They're on and off it. Makes the hit. Rolls a little bit over. I think their first and second shot could have swept it a little bit more just to be sure. Was a little bit casual there. Well, opportunity for Team Tirinzoni and Alina Pets to get on the board here. Open hit for the single point here in the second end. Nice throw. Good result. It is a single point for Team Tirinzoni. Having a quick look. Yes, I think it is, but we'll confirm it when we get to the third end.
For victims of domestic abuse, fleeing may mean leaving everything behind. There is hope. SaskTel provides brand new cell phones so that starting over is possible. Learn more at SaskTel.com/fresh start.
Imagine a place with endless possibilities. Imagine a place where people come together to build families, businesses, and communities. Imagine a place where small-town values and progressive qualities are in perfect harmony. Imagine a place rich with so much vitality. Imagine your future in Martensville.
Well, I was mistaken. So it was some very casual sweeping on Jennifer Jones's last stone. It actually did not outcount the Swiss stone, and that's a big mental mistake from the person in the house, Mackenzie Zacharias, because they could have rolled much bigger and made sure they were two, at least forced the double, but now it is 2-2, Jones and Tirinzoni. As mentioned, this is the fourth of fifth games, both teams both going in with a 2-1 record. Team Jones, they're going to end off with a tough match later tonight, the 8:30 p.m. draw, Saskatchewan time, against Clancy Grandy. Team Grandy, second in the standings right now, undefeated at 3-0. Team Tirinzoni, they've got Lorraine Schneider to close off. So those matches and the other matches will, of course, determine who makes the playoffs. 12 teams here on the ladies' side. The top 6. The top half will make the playoffs. 4 teams will play in the quarterfinals, advancing 2 into the semifinals. The top 2 seeds an automatic berth in the semifinals. All of that action courtesy of Curling Stadium on Monday. There are 10 teams on the men's side of the draw, so 5 will make the playoffs right now. Leading the way, the local team, Colton Flash, 3-0. Mike McEwen, Riku Yanagisawa from Japan. They're 3-1 in a good shape to make the playoff round. Steve Laycock, 2-1, along with Yannick Schwaller. Those are the top 5 right now. Kel Brunner, John Epping, 1-2. Kyler Kleibrink, Dallin Myers, 1-3, and Cody Hartung trying to get on the board with their first win, 0-3. Hartung is on the ice today, this morning, with their match against 3-0 Colton Flash. Steve Laycock off to a good start. 2-0 lead over Brunner of Switzerland. We'll keep you up to date on all the scores. And of course, with Curling Stadium, you can watch every single draw, every single match on all the sheets. You can find those links on curlingzone.com. Click that YouTube link, or just go to YouTube and search for Curling Zone. You'll find us all there. You can have us on multiple screens if you so wish. And if you're joining us on CBC Sports Online, thanks very much as well. A center guard is up. Team Tirinzoni's Blue Stone, but Jennifer Jones, their team has a couple of rocks in great position. Shot stone on the top of the button. That one is half exposed, but they've got another rock. The rock that's in the full 8 foot that's sitting almost frozen on top of the Blue Stone. That's very well positioned. This stone is over curling. It's going to hit the guard. Moves it a bit now. The Jones stones are buried, but I don't think Team Jones will want to keep all those guards there without last rock. You don't want to have too many center guards. You still need to find a way to score your multiple points. You can draw in. Yeah, so Jennifer had a look at peeling one of the guards because there might be just one too many for her comfort level. She has the hammer, wants to have an opportunity to score multiples, but here's the other way to do it, is to just draw a second one in for now, deal with the guards later. You'll only be third shot at best with this stone, but then you can look at rearranging the front and getting access to that blue stone right now, that second shot stone over in the overhead shot. You can see it there. This shot also over curls, so the team's getting a little bit fooled. It exposes that red shot stone again, and I think Team Tirinzoni, they're going to make a play on it once again. Try to hit and roll over to the side of the 8-foot. If they can do that, they'll sit first and second shot, both behind cover. Takes the hit, flops it over a little bit, actually over curled on them. They were trying to roll it completely buried. But now you see Team Jones, they probably can hit this rock on the inside, the center line side, and pop the other blue one over just like that. Charlie Burgess throwing the third stones this week. Looks pretty close. Moves the blue over, exposes maybe a third of it. A pretty good shot. She could have come a little bit closer to the card. She would have gotten more action off the blue, but well played. This stone is a hair on the wide side. Will it make contact with the red? No, it just breezes by through that port. There's a bit of a mistake now. What do you do if you're Team Jones? It's not easy to remove the blue stone right now. The blue stone that is on the right side of the 4-foot. It's also very close with the red stone. The question is who is shot rock. Team's having a look at it. One option is the double peel. The problem with the double peel right now is that rock in the center that you're going to hit, or either rock that you're going to hit, is going to shoot back. They'll redirect off of the other guard and just shoot right back just because they're side by side. So They are just coming right in. Maybe moving that redstone up just a touch to be sure they're shot stone. That's pretty good. Team Pat's having a look. Or Elena Pat's having a look to see if this double is there. The redstone is a piece buried, but you probably can get enough of it to spill the redstone sideways, at least far enough for you to be shot stone. If you can play this quiet and never leave your shooter right there, you'd be in a great spot. Team Jones would have to then deal with it. They are playing a little bit of weight at this. There that goes the redstone. It does spill far enough. You are shot stone now. But Team Jones, they do have second and third. Right now, looking at running the blue stone in, excuse me. The blue onto their redstone, onto the blue. They can do that. They'll sit 2. First of the 2 skip stones for Jennifer Jones. They have last rock here in this third end. 2-2 tie. Blue back onto red, onto blue. Now they want this one to stay around. If it can, it will roll a bit too far. Team Jones still sits shot stone, though, behind the corner guard, so they've got one covered. Alina Pets, she'll have to make a good draw here to force Jennifer Jones. We can make a good draw behind this double blue stones on the center line. She could actually even steal here, get to the top of the button, and buried. Alina Pets with her final stone, looking for a draw to the top of the button. Needs to get it buried. Line's looking quite nice here. Weight as well. Right on the button, the back of the button. They did get it fully buried. That's why they swept it a little bit. They wanted to get it fully buried so it forces Jennifer into 1 point. They left it exposed. Team Jones could try to play a soft weight hit for 2. Now with where it is, Jones will need to come right to it, maybe even move it a hair to take their single point. Tough shot. She played almost this exact same shot in the first end that set up the steal of 2 for her, so she'll know this path. Final stone here in the third 2-2 tie. Someone's going to take the lead. Will it be Team Jones? Or will it be Team Tirinzoni with that shot stone right now? Line's looking pretty good here as well. And wonderfully played by Team Jones. They take 1 in the third. They lead 3-2 after 3 ends of play.
SaskTel Be Kind Online wants to stop cyberbullying. Want in on the action? We award up to $1,000 for youth initiatives that help spread kindness and prevent bullying. What great idea do you have to help stop bullying? SaskTel can help. Go to BeKindOnline.com and apply for a grant today. Together, we can make a difference.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Welcome back to Curling Stadium, Martensville. Draw 11, the 9 a.m. Saskatchewan time draw. Team Jones leading Team Tirinzoni 3-2 in a battle of titans. Of course, new lineups for both teams. Quick update on the other sheet. Steve Laycock, he's off to a quick start against Team Brunner from Switzerland. 4-0 lead after 3 ends of play. Cody Hartung, Colton Flash there. Deadlocked at 1 after 2 ends of play. John Epping leading Dallin Myers 2-1. Center guard goes up for Team Jones. It just over curls the center line a bit. Corner guard from Team Tirinzoni. Not a surprising start to this end. Good draw to the top of the button. Maybe wanted to stop it a foot shorter than that, but still very well played. I think it is Emily Zacharias in the lineup today, throwing the lead stones. Team Tirinzoni asking Briar Hurleman to play a freeze on top of this red stone. You can see the really good finish in these rocks as the rock slows down and enters the rings. Just a a little bit heavy on that one. Would have curled over a bit more if they had a few feet less weight. Let the sweepers take it there to the freeze. We've seen this a couple times from Mackenzie Zacharias already in this game. Over curling and crashing into the guard. This really helps Team Tirinzoni because now they've got basically 3 corner guards to work with. Trying to make the hit and roll behind those 2 corner guards on the right-hand side of your screen. A really lovely shot. Oh, gets a little bit of a backspin the other way. So the double is on here. A little bit on the broom side, a high side hit. Get the 2 blue stones out. Well, her last rock over curl. This is the other turn for Mackenzie Zacharias. This will be the in turn. She'll look to throw this one a bit better, try to make the double. Of course, Mackenzie Zacharias and the rest of this squad, Sam Jennifer Jones, are the 2020 Canadian and World Junior Champions. They've played at the last couple of Scotties together. 2021 and 2022 finished in a tie for 12th. With a 3-5 record as wild card number 3, I believe, and last year won Manitoba 5-4, the better performance, 7th place at the Scotties, and of course, with the breakup of the legendary Team Jennifer Jones. Jones now the elder statesman of women's curling, perhaps, but taking on this young team in front of her with a 5-person lineup. Seeing that more and more. You saw Jennifer Jones last cycle, near the end of the last cycle, added Lisa Weigel to the lineup to have a 5-person squad. Of course, that ended in success at the Canadian Olympic Trials, beating Tracy Fleury there to earn a berth at her 2nd Winter Olympic Games. Couldn't come home with a medal this time, but of course she has that gold medal from 2014 in Sochi. Not to mention 6 Scotties titles and 2 World Championship gold medals as well. Carly Burgess trying to come down and just freeze on it, but does tap it back a little bit. That might actually give Team Tirinzoni enough room to quietly get to the nose, even a little bit inside this redstone, and push it through and sit 2. They can do that. The corner guards are set up very nicely. They're all staggered. The only bad thing is they'll be behind the T line, but it'll put a lot of pressure on Team Jones. They're going to have to follow this in and play another freeze. And if you don't make that one, then a big end can develop for the Swiss team. But first things first, Silvana has to make this tap through. They get it by the guard now. Holding the line, little flop to the inside just as they drew it up. Well swept, well executed. Well, the pressure is on now. They have to play the freeze and make it a good one. Line looks good. Now, the weight, if it's good, it will stay right there. And that is a well played shot from Carly Burgess. See, Alina Pet's indicating backline weight. Not sure if you can get enough onto the nose of this stone to push it by the blue. You might be fairly close to making it. You got to get very tight to the guard. They are very tight to the guard now, sweeping it for curl. Gets it onto the nose. Can they push it back far enough to sit more than one? I think it is just one for blue right now, but that is a lovely shot. Well, the pressure back on Team Jones now. And as you exchange hits and tap backs, the shooter rises higher and higher into the house. And now for Team Jones to get shot stone, they probably have to move it a little bit, because if they just freeze, it'll be tough for Jennifer to be shot stone. They're by the guard again, very tight. They need to keep sweeping because they need the weight to move it, and they don't. It pretty much was a freeze weight with full sweeping over curls, and now Team Tirinzoni opportunity to set up 2 points here. You could split the reins, maybe put this in the back of the forefoot where there's no double. That's one option. That's what Silvana Tirinzoni was indicating. You can also come down and actually just set third shot. You can corner freeze onto the Jennifer Jones stone. If you do that, you're first and third, but then you're lining up an angle such that you can play onto that stone that you've just corner frozen. You might be able to squeeze even the two red stones both out. So Jennifer Jones would have to be very careful with her last rock placement to do that. This is the simpler play. Go to the back four. The only thing with this rock is you have to make sure it is behind or deeper than your other blue stone that is behind cover. If you leave it a little bit high in the top four and the top eight, there will be a double. Jen Jones will definitely take that on, and your end will be over. You'll be forced to one. So Sweepers will have to manage this rock really well. There isn't a lot of space to stop this. Really, you have to be in the 4-foot still. So from the T line to the back 4, that's the real estate you have to hit. And yeah, they do a good job there. Sitting shot and second shot stone. Really nothing Jennifer can do except to hit this, roll into the 4-foot, sit shot stone, and give Team Tirinzoni an open hit for 2 points. Team Jones leading 3-2 here in the 4th end. Sweepers on this one to hold the line. They need at least to be nose. If they're nose, they'll be at least second shot. Shot stone, I think. Jennifer Jones, so it is an open hit. Alina Petz will follow Jennifer Jones's line down. Hit and stick or hit and roll a little bit towards the center, and you'll have your 2 points and take the lead for the first time in this game. Final stone, 4th end. We're almost at the halfway point. Close game so far. Alina Petz throwing the 4th stones for Team Tirinzoni, as she's done over the last number of years. Briar Hurlman just cleaning it down, makes the hit, makes the stick. It is 2 points. And they take a 4-3 lead to the break.
SaskTel Be Kind Online wants to stop cyberbullying. Want in on the action? You can get a grant to help. We award up to $1,000 for youth initiatives that help spread kindness and prevent bullying. It's easy. SaskTel has already given away tens of thousands of dollars. There have been lots of great ideas, including kids giving cookies to others, a group set up to welcome newcomers to their school, random acts of kindness, and so much more. The ideas and opportunities are endless. What great idea do you have to help stop bullying? SaskTel can help. Go to BeKindOnline.com and apply for a grant today. Together, we can make a difference.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Welcome back to Curling Stadium, Martensville International. Team Tirinzoni with a 4-3 lead through 4 ends of play. Team Jones having the hammer back. If you're just joining us, my name is Jason Chang here to bring you the action from the ice to whichever device you're watching us on. Center guard goes up from Team Tirinzoni. Team Jones down by just 1 point here. No need to play the corner guard. They're just going to go around the center. Nice shot there from the Jones lead. Right behind the center guard. Really good depth right in the top of the 8 foot, almost touching the 4 foot. That's where you really want to be. You don't need to be on the button so early. This way, if Team Tirinzoni freezes on top of yours, they're only in the 8 foot, and it gives you a lot of space to maneuver, keeping the 4 foot open. With that rock spilling open, Team Jones, they're going to try to get the easy 2 points here by hitting and rolling away. I say easy because you're going to try to separate these rocks and not leave a double and not use any of the guards, but it's much harder to execute in real life. With teams at this level, at some point in time, you're going to leave a double or two. They might be hard, but a team of Tirinzoni's caliber, they have a good chance to get out of this end when you're separating the rocks like that so early. You'll have 6 or 7 opportunities to group the rocks and then make a double. And now Team Tirinzoni trying to roll back towards the middle, roll it behind the guard. They do roll completely out, so we'll see if Jennifer continues this same play of separating the 2 stones. She's asked Mackenzie Zacharias to draw to the wings once again. Can probably be a little bit deeper than the last one. Maybe even onto the T line. There won't be a double here because that center guard is in the way of the other shot stone, redstone, to make the double. So the only way you can leave a double is to not have this stone that Mackenzie's throwing deep enough. If you go behind the T line, even if Silvana plays a role, be behind the T line as well, and that might help you. They were calling the hidden roll. They do roll over right to the top of the button. That's the way you start grouping the stones. Of course, Team Jones, she's a veteran. She's going to try to keep them separated. I think she's asked Mackenzie to play a board weight, hit and roll away. Maybe hit half of that redstone, roll towards the 12 foot if you can. That will again keep the separation on the stones and make the double very difficult. The Rock did overcurl on them, so the two Redstones now are grouped. Tough to make the double if you want to keep the shooter. You might just want to play a hit and roll it behind the corner guard right now. If you play the double and lose the shooter, you will be shot at the back, but Jen Jones probably will just ignore it and go around the center guard and put it in a good spot. So I think you want to keep the shooter around here for sure. If you can. Alina Pats with her first. She is trying the double, trying to hold the shooter, but it does overcurl on her a bit. Probably had a chance to make it the way she wanted it, based on how those rolls, the rocks rolled out. That is the man in pink is Pierre Charette, the coach for Team Tirinzoni. They've been working, or he's been working with Team Tirinzoni for the last couple of years. You might know him as one of the conveners of the Grand Slam series, but his curling resume is pretty good as well. A few Brier appearances, the best finish, of course, if you remember from 1998 and 1999 on that Guy Hemmings rink, those two silver medals. Of course, that team from Quebec was extremely popular with the fans. They lost the final in 1998 to Wayne Madaw. And then in 1999, losing to Jeff Stoughton. Well, not bad curlers to lose a Brier final to. They had two really great years. Guy Hemmings, Pierre Charette, Guy Thibodeau, and Dale Ness. That 1999 Brier had one of my favorite shots ever at a Brier. If you all remember in the semifinals, Team Hemmings, I think they went to an extra end against Saskatchewan's Gerald Shimko. I'm sure fans from Saskatchewan remember him. And Gerald Shimko had Team Hemmings in some trouble in the final end, and Guy had to hit the pin on a final rock draw. And the excitement of the crowd and of Guy and Pierre and Guy Thibodeau, Dale Ness after that shot was made was incredible. So some of the teams, particularly the international teams, do have their coaches here, and you are able to call a timeout during the course of play, and the coach can come out to advise your team. We saw that a couple times already this tournament. Back to our game here. Team Jones trying to make a draw. Carly Burgess comes up short. This was a great opportunity to set up 2 points here already with one sitting in the back of the rings, out counting that blue stone. You draw around the center guard and you're in really good shape for two. Now you left the guard staggered, and if Team Tirinzoni gets it around, you'll have a hard time removing it. You'll probably get forced into a shot for one, and it might not even be that easy. Might have to make that Guy Hemmings-esque shot to the pin. Alina Petz with her first opportunity to really put the pressure on Jennifer Jones. Team Jones looked very sharp in their first two games, wins over Lorraine Schneider and Ashley Howard to get to 2-0. Then a very topsy-turvy game against Daniela Jens. Yes, they scored 8 points, 5 in one end, 3 in another. That's when they were playing really well. And then they had some ends where they were missing some shots on the weight and the line. That's what allowed Team Jens to claw their way back and actually win this game 9-8 in 8 ends. This game going a little bit similarly as well. The couple ends where Team Jones scored, they played fairly well. Then a couple of mistakes in the other two ends led to twos for Team Tirinzoni. So both teams taking advantage of misses. With the Team Pets Rock sliding a little bit deep, Jennifer Jones, she has a chance to come to it, maybe even tap it out and sit 2 here. She wants to get right to the nose. She'll be covering the pin that way. Nice shot. Push it back far enough to sit 2. Not quite. Only sits 1. Lena Pets now, she'll try to come down, freeze on top. She can do that. It'll make it very difficult for Jennifer to score 2. If she wants to try for shot stone, the line looks good and the sweepers can carry it. She'll look to tap it back and set shot stone. What you don't want to do is tap it too hard and then roll open. So you have to almost play this as a freeze, and if the weight happens to be there and the line is good, you can sweep it for a bit of a tap. Sweeping on the curl side, moves it back. It looks like they did push it far enough to be shot stone for Team Switzerland. Alina Petz, nice shot. Jennifer now with her last stone. She's going to try to follow the same path in. Try to play that same tap. There is room. Alina was by that guard by quite a bit, so you can get to the nose here and tap it out for 2 perhaps. Just have to have the right weight, get tight to the guard. Final stone here in the 5th. Team Jones, opportunity for 2 is not an easy shot. This rock is curling early. I think it's going to crash on the guard. Yeah, they swept it hard, but it was tight all the way. Missed opportunity, but a great shot from Alina Petz to set up that steal of 1. They're going to take a 5-3 lead after 5 ends. We'll be back in Martensville in a few minutes.
For victims of domestic abuse, fleeing may mean leaving everything behind. There is hope. SaskTel provides brand new cell phones so that starting over is possible. Learn more at SaskTel.com/fresh start.
Imagine a place with endless possibilities. Imagine a place where people come together to build families, businesses, and communities. Imagine a place where small-town values and progressive qualities are in perfect harmony. Imagine a place rich with so much vitality. Imagine your future in Martensville.
Sixth end here in the Jones versus Tirinzoni match, 5-3. Tirinzoni leads after that steal of 1 in the 5th. Great shot again by Alina Paz. That 4th rock thrower for the team's Tirinzoni. Jennifer had an opportunity for two if she could quietly tap out the shot stone, but it was tight all the way, crashed on the guard, and now I think you're going to see Jennifer throw up the corner guard. Down by 2, you need to get some offense going, and it's an even end, so you'd like to get your 2 here, force Silvana to 1 in the 7th, and then come home with the hammer and get 2 in the last. Corner guard goes up, Team Tirinzoni. They're going to put another one. I think they called this for the rings. Maybe top of the 12, top 8. Looking at the way they're sweeping it now, I think they wanted it as a tight guard. Just slips into the rings. It really depends on what you think Jennifer Jones is going to do. If you think she's going to just put up another corner guard or go around the corner, you can just come in because she won't hit this anyways. If you think Jennifer might play a hit if you come into the rings, then you'd want to play a guard. So sometimes it's a bit of a mental game what you think the other team might do. But Jennifer, she's going to ignore those 2 blue stones. She's going to play another shot towards this right-hand side of the sheet. Try to get it behind cover. Needs it to stop. And it will. Just. It is buried though, so that's the good news. The bad news is it's only 3rd shot right now. Carol Hall, the 2nd stone thrower for Team Tirinzoni. They're ignoring the Jones rock that's fighting the back of the 12. They can hit it. It is buried, but with the amount of curl, you can play it quiet and remove it. Instead, they put up another guard. I think Jennifer will have to move the staggered guards now. They'd probably roll it and leave another guard. Leave a corner guard. I don't think you want to stay right there if you're Team Jones. So maybe hitting it a little bit on the right-hand side as you see it on the screen and roll to the right, or you can hit it a little bit on the left side and roll to the left. Depends how desperately you want to get rid of that that blue stone, both blue stones. You're going to get rid of the back one for sure, or that one that's sitting in the top of the 12, just biting. If you want the other blue one, the one you're hitting to go away, you might hit it on the other side. I think they're going to hit it a little bit on Jennifer's broom side and roll to the left as you see on the screen right now. Create another corner guard, really well executed. Team Tirinzoni having a good look at what to do here. That corner guard is very dangerous, the one that just rolled over to the tight part of the rings. I think they're going to make a play on it. Maybe roll back to the right, maybe run into their own blue stone and push that over a little bit more to guard their own stone again. Be a very precise shot, but if you can make it, that'd be an excellent result. They caught it a bit thin, removes the corner guard, rolls right under everything. They're having a close look at who's second shot. It does matter because I think if you are second shot, you can just play the draw. You can also play the hit on shot stone and take a bit of a roll. So they've elected to ignore the shot stone right now, make use of their corner. I like this call. It could put 3 points into play because I believe you are already second shot. Now they're going to be second and third with those two reds, and both are under cover. Nice stone thrown there by Mackenzie Zacharias. Silvana also taking a look. Again, it is very important whether that blue biter is closer or that red biter is closer. I think she's going to discover that the red biter is closer, so. Looks like she's coming down with the freeze here. They've got to hold the line here. They've got to stay on the correct side of the corner to be second shot stone. I think they do just that. Very well managed by the sweepers. Really nice line call by Alina in the house. And of course, a nice throw from Silvana herself. With the amount of curl, again, they think they can get to the nose slightly inside and push this blue stone out. The rock over curls, but heads up sweeping. They kept on it, try to hit it thin and spill it into the rings. They do spill it in for what looks to be third shot, maybe fourth shot. Team Tirinzoni sitting first and second. Now one is kind of covered. That's the one in the 4-foot, covered by a rock that's fully in the 12-foot, the Jennifer Jones redstone. And the other stone, second shot rock, is the rock that was previously thrown by Silvana Tirinzoni, corner frozen on the Jones stone. So putting a little bit of pressure now on Team Jennifer Jones with where these rocks are. They still have to be careful. There's 3 redstones in the rings that they don't have. They have to make sure those don't come back to bite them because they're probably not moving them out. Well, wasn't sure they were actually going to attempt to hit any of the redstones out, but they are playing a little bit safer by removing that redstone, trying to catch another one of those reds on the way by on the other side. It slips right between the two. You might think that's an interesting call. That redstone was guarding their own blue stone that was shot rock, but they were just a little bit concerned with a 2-point lead, leaving too many Jones stones in the rings. Could come back to bite you, so this is a bit of a more conservative call, but they think they have the force on right now, so it's not a bad call. They can force Jones to 1, score in the 7th, you'll have at least a 2-point lead going into 8. If you can force and take 2, you'll have a 3-point lead, and that'll be pretty comfortable. Really good hit and roll there by Carly Burgess. I think she stuck just in time to be shot stone, and it's tough to remove that red stone now. Where that roll to. Very interesting play there, hitting your own blue one, removing the side red one, and then trying to squirt it in closer than this back red one. The overhead shot, I think it might still be red shot stone, and if it is, you're going to want to split the rings and sit two. Jennifer Jones looks like she's deferring to the younger eyes. It is close. Sometimes these overheads can be a little deceptive. Well, Jennifer's going to go around the blue stone in the center, so not 100% sure whether that means they think they're only sitting one or they're not sure, so they want to get shot stone here and be under cover. Like I said, if you thought you were sitting two, you might just split the rings. Have Tirinzoni hit the open one, and then you exchange hits for your 2 points. This might be the shot you play if you think you're not sitting one, the opponent's is sitting one, or you're not quite sure who shot stone. Then you want to go behind cover. This one's going to come up short. Now Team Tirinzoni, they're going to have a good look at this, because if they're sure they're shot stone, they're just going to go around this middle staggered guards and plop one into the top of the button and have a really good chance to steal. If they're not shot stone or they're not sure, they'll probably make a hit on that red-blue, the blue-red combination. So we'll get a pretty good indication right now who shot stone based on what Team Tirinzoni does. Yes, looks like Team Tirinzoni is going to play this blue-red combination, so that likely means Team Jones is either sitting one or it's too close to determine, so you're not going to take any chances here. You hit this right, you can even roll this towards the button area and still be in a really good spot to steal. This is the final stone for Team Tirinzoni in this end. Well, one of the blue ones went out, and now they're having a look at the two biters, the blue at the top and the red at the back, to see who's closer, whether this hit might be for two. Again, very difficult to tell from that angle, so we'll see after this shot is played. It's at least a shot for one. Hard to tell if it's a shot for two or not. We'll let the teams let us know when the dust settles. Final stone, Team Jones looking for the nose hit. They drive it by. They've got at least one. Now, are they going to have a look? Yeah, they're going to have a closer look. Maybe they'll call for the measure. It is at least one for Team Jones. Here comes Mackenzie Zacharias. They'll have to measure their own stones. Well, this is a big second point here. If it is red, it's a tie game heading into 7. If it's blue, it's only 1 for Team Jones. It's 5-4, and Tirinzoni with last stone, she'll be in a little bit of control situation. So Mackenzie swinging the measurement device around. Mackenzie indicating it's red. Silvana, I think, wants to have a closer look. So she just retightened the gauge, swinging it back around, and I think it is 2 red. So I think you've got a tie game after 6 innings of play.
For victims of domestic abuse, fleeing may mean leaving everything behind. There is hope. SaskTel provides brand new cell phones so that starting over is possible. Learn more at SaskTel.com/fresh start.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
We are back here in Martensville, Curling Stadium. Coverage of Team Jones and Team Tirinzoni. Tie game after 5. It's been a back and forth affair. A little mistake on Felina Petz's final stone. Trying to play a blue onto red combination and hold the shooter as well, but over curls, shooter rolls out. Then they looked at the biters to see it was closer for second shot, and it was Team Jones coming away with 2 points. So now the game plan is set for Team Jones. Without last rock in the 7, they either want to force Tirinzoni here to 1 or take a steal. For Team Tirinzoni, either taking multiples or blank descend and hold hammer into the last end. Quick scan over the other sheets. Steve Laycock was leading 5-1 over Michael Brunner, but Brunner of Switzerland, they've come back with 3 points in the 6th end. So Laycock with hammer in 7, up 5-4. Colton Flash up 5-2 over Cody Hartung. Team Flash trying to keep on top of the standings and go 4-0 with a victory. Hartung winless so far, looking for their first win. They have hammer down by 3 in the 7th. And John Epping, that is a final, beating Dallin Myers 7-2. Big win there for John Epping. He was 1-2. Now he's evened his record at 2-2. He'll play Colton Flash, the leader in the standings, in the final draw. Try to get into the top 5 on the men's side to make the playoffs. Dallin Myers dropping to 1-3. Team Jones trying to force Silvana Tirinzoni, making sure there's no blank opportunity. That's why the 2 center guards went up this time, rather than just 1 and then come around. Team Tirinzoni, they come around the staggered centers, and Jennifer Jones, they're going to follow this one in. They tap the Tirinzoni rock back a little bit, but they roll exposed. Team Tirinzoni has an opportunity to hit and roll this one back towards the middle behind the center guards. They got a bit of a half roll. Actually, that's a good spot for them. Enough of a roll such that Team Jones can't really hit and roll behind cover that easily. So they're going to play a shot, maybe a freeze onto this shot stone blue. That's in the top of the 4-foot. Well, that rock doesn't make it past the hog line. I'm not sure what happened. It looks like it just grabbed something. Mackenzie was looking on the ice after she threw it. And the sweepers didn't jump it right out of her hand. They waited at least a couple of seconds before they started sweeping. So I think that must have picked. Unfortunate for Team Jones here, because this gives Team Tirinzoni an opportunity to really shut down the rings and build a multiple point end. This one is over curling though, so maybe Team Jones will get a break back. They're trying to sweep that to have it crash on the top guard, and it actually goes by. Doesn't really move the guards all that much, but it does leave the same shot available for Team Jones if they want to play it. So I think the same shot was called. Not a lot has changed. Actually, one extra guard is up. So, in fact, that same call that Mackenzie was trying, probably the wisest decision here. They are cleaning this path this time in front of the rock, making sure it doesn't pick. It's always a good thing to do on every shot. Now that curls in, it actually over curls and goes too deep. I think that is a little bit of miscommunication there. If you knew it was over curling, or if you knew it was a little deep, you got to make sure you crash onto that blue stone so that you sit in front of the tee line. Well, that was definitely an unforced error from Team Jones. The rock was reasonably well thrown. The weight was pretty close. The line was pretty close. As long as you communicated the weight in the line between the sweepers and the individual in the house, the skip, you should have gotten a good result out of it. Instead, they've gotten a terrible result going through and by everything. And now Team Tirinzoni has a chance to play the same shot, come into the top of the rings and really close off the scoring area. They rub off the guard, but they end up in an okay spot. They've got their shot rock protected. I think, Jennifer, they've got to play some sort of a hit now. The question is what you want to do, how hard you want to hit it, where you want to roll the shooter. There's not a lot of options, actually. I think you got to hit the one that they just threw. The problem with hitting the one they just threw and making the double is that second blue stone, there's a good chance it jams onto the red stone at the back. And that red stone right now is second shot. If you lose that red stone, you can have 4 blue rocks in the rings and just one lonely red one that's only fourth shot. Well, they are playing the hit on the blue. They drive it straight back, so they avoid the jam. They keep the shooter in front of the ring, so that was a good play. Blue-ish still shot stone. Well, hard to say. Red might actually be shot stone now. That blue rock with that nose hit traveled a little bit higher in the ring, so it is pretty close. I think it is blue, still shot stone, red second shot at the back. But they've left their shooter, that red shooter, in a good spot to use. They can definitely promote that on their next rock. Team Tirinzoni is playing a raise on their own blue stone on this side. Try to sit first and second after this situation. Moves it onto the top of the four. Nicely done. Can you see enough of it to make a double? On the right-hand side, probably not. Probably need to raise your own stone in, the one that you just threw. You might be able to make a double out of this. It's not easy, the angle. Even if you just hit one of the blues out and sit right there in the top of the four or just in the top of the eight, it'll be a pretty good result. Oh, a little slip there. They do get the rock to go. So we think blue still shooting shot stone. Red second shot. Got an unfortunate result at the end. I mean, they hit the red into the blue pretty solidly, but just a little bit on the backside in it. That's why it squirted out the back. Alina Pets with her first. I think the call is to draw around this blue stone. It's going to overcurl, spills into the 8-foot. Still an okay result. You can definitely use those on the last stone. But it does give Jennifer an opportunity to hit this shot stone blue rock. And if they can hit a little bit on the inside, roll a little bit behind the center guards, then there won't be a double and you've got the force on. If you hit and just nose it right there, I guarantee you Elena will take a run at the double. Jennifer Jones looking to hit the blue. Needs to avoid the jam at the back. She does. Wanted to get tighter to the guard so she can roll a bit inside. Now it is Team Jones sitting 2, but a double is there for 3 or 4, maybe even for 5. You could play a tap for 1, but the risk reward is definitely saying play the double. As long as you make contact with this top red, you're in no danger of giving up more than a steal of 1, and you have a great opportunity here to just seal the game away if you can make the double. Final zone. Alina Pats for Team Tirinzoni. They have a chance to really seal this game up with a double. It's a little bit thin, drives it by, and Jen Jones, they retake the lead after 7 ends. It's 6-5. We're coming home to a tight one. Back in a moment for end number 8.
Imagine a place with endless possibilities. Imagine a place where people come together to build families, businesses, and communities. Imagine a place where small-town values and progressive qualities are in perfect harmony. Imagine a place rich with so much vitality. Imagine your future in Martensville.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
We're back for the 8th end here at Curling Stadium, Martensville. Just saw Team Jones retake the lead for the first time since early in the game. She leads 6-5. Team Tirinzoni with the hammer. Well, this is that classic situation. Down 1 with the hammer. Would you rather be in that situation or in the situation Jen Jones is in, up 1 without? We had Matt Hall with us earlier in the broadcast, in an earlier draw. I asked Matt Hall this question: what do the stats say? And the stats say, on the whole, Team Jen Jones would be the favorite under this situation. Has a 60% chance or so of winning, 40% for Team Tirinzoni, but every team's stats are going to be different. So those are just generalized stats for a general high-performance type team, but each team might have their individual percentage. Well, with Team Tirinzoni from Switzerland looking for 2 points. Of course, the corner guard goes up. Team Jones looking for that center guard. Now going around their own center guard, or their own corner guard, excuse me. Trying to get this completely buried. Pretty good. Not a lot of choice for Team Jones. They just have to throw another one into the top of the rings behind that center guard. Comes up a little bit short from where they were intending. I think they wanted that to be fully in the 8-foot, out counting the blue. Till Silvana had a close look. She thinks it's blue right now for second shot. So if that's the case, to make a play on shot stone right now. Sit 2. Also thinking about maybe you need to freeze too early to sit 2. They're still talking about this, but I think they finally decided they're going to play a softer weight shot. I think they're going to hit the shot stone red and roll a little bit to the inside. They roll out a little bit too far. Team Jones looking at some sort of a hit and roll. Maybe make the double here. The hit and roll is very nice if you can sit on top. But I think the double is easier to control. This one isn't even going to roll that way. It's going to hit on the nose, in fact. I really would have been tempted to play the double there. I mean, that blue stone is behind cover. You're not going to have a lot of opportunities to remove it. And that could be the second point for Team Tirinzoni. So when you have a chance to get rid of it, why not? tap there. Moves the red stone to behind the tee line. Now Team Jones has to be more careful with their hits. They go straight back, it'll jam. If you hit it off half a rock, it'll jam into the other one. Well, they've looked at several options, and Jennifer has decided to just draw, I think, behind those center line stones. Try to hit full 4. Well, the line on this shot is a bit of a problem. It's going to rearrange the guard, so it pushes it to a center guard. Rolls to a corner guard itself. I think they like to tap that blue stone up to be shot stone. You can even tap it up to a freeze on that back red stone. Keep the shooter right there. Right now, with the way the guards are, I think most of the play for the last few rocks are going to be near the center. This rock over curling a hair. The angle's not great right now for the blue stones that are grouped together. The one that just was thrown by Silvana and the one that it touched in the rings. You might think, why not play the double? Well, if you play the double, your shooter will at best just stay there, and you're leaving Silvana Tirinzoni a draw to the top of the 4 behind cover. Right now, Silvana can't really make use of those blue stones just the way they're staggered. So for Team Jones, you want to just come right in first, get another one into a better position, try to be top 4 shot stone. This ruck also diving towards the guard, and again, it crashes. Always also was a bit light, so probably a little bit off on both sides. And the angle's not great here for Tirinzoni. They probably need to move these blues because the angles are so unfavorable right now that you want to make them a bit better for a future shot. You might be able to just push that blue that is closer to the 4-foot enough into the 4-foot to be shot stone as well. So a couple of ways to play it. One is to hit the blue that is higher up, and he'll chip that other blue sideways from the overhead shot to the left. The other way is to curl into the blue that is second shot right now, kind of crossing the face a little bit and pushing it back. Based on the line they've taken, I think they were trying to hit the blue that was already closer to the 4-foot, try to cross the face a little bit like that and push it into the 4-foot. Really nice shot, Silvana Tirinzoni. And now blue does sit shot stone behind their own blue stones that's in the 8-foot. Team Jones with their 2 draw attempts that ended up crashing on the guards. They've made that out-turn draw for shot stone extremely difficult now. They have to go really wide. Probably is still there with the amount of curl, but it could be a bit of an adventure and a guess on the speed and the line. I think there is a shot to be played here. Make the double on the blue, sit right there, and then you'll have a rock to use on your last stone. So Jennifer Jones, first rock, they've decided to run the center line guard into their red that's in the top 8, just biting the top 8, and drive that into the rings. I think she's playing it with quieter weights, so not sure if she's just basically playing a double raise or whether she's trying to move the blue stone that's in the house as well. She's a little thin, drives that guard by. Well, she has opened it up a little bit, so she probably can make the direct tap on that red stone now. So I think Team Tirinzoni probably either needs to guard that or tap another one of their blue stones into the forefoot and try to sit 2 right now. The Swiss team down by 1 with the hammer. Alina Pats her first of 2 skip stones. They are playing a tap right now to try to sit first and second, I believe. Trying to sweep this one over for some more curl. It does make contact. I think they are 1 and 2 now. If they had gotten that to curl just a little bit more, there wouldn't be a port here, and Jennifer will have a much more difficult time. Now there is a port through the hole. You can make the double, and then you'll be sitting 2 in a really good spot. Even if you lose the back red one on the way by, you'll still be sitting shot stone. You'd love to be sitting 2 after this, right on the nose, and you're fairly close to picking it off. The port is small. Team Tirinzoni down by 1. They are sitting 2. Those are the 2 winning points right now if nothing else happens. Jen Jones, 1 rock to come. Opportunity to make a double. Sit shot stone once again. And perhaps win this game. Critical game for both teams. Coming into this match 2 and 1. One of them will get to 3 and 1 and be in great shape for the playoffs. The other at 2 and 2. They'll have to scrap for their last win. It's a small port for Jennifer Jones. It's close. It's very close. She's got it, I think. She picks it off. She does clip the back red stone on the way by, but she is sitting shot stone. If it curled just a little bit more, it would have picked that back blue stone cleanly and left Jennifer sitting 2. The way it sits right now, Team Jones sitting shot rock. Second shot is that blue rock in the full 8. Third shot is Team Jones's rock in the top 8, just biting the top 8 a bit more than the other blue stones. That third shot stone right now for Team Jones is critical. That's the one that might limit the damage and force Team Tirinzoni to just a single point here. But there is a shot through the same port now. She can make it through, remove the red stone. It's been a tight game throughout, back and forth between these two great teams, and it is now Alina Pats with her final. Needs to come through the port, remove the Jones stone, try to sit right there for 2. She's close. I think she's done it. Wonderful shot by Alina Pats through the port. 2 on the board for blue, and handshakes. Team Tirinzoni picks up a hard-fought victory against Team Jones. They improved their record to 3-1. 1 game left. They're going to play Lorraine Schneider later tonight. Jennifer Jones, they're at 2-2. They've got a match against 3-0 Clancy Grandy. What a great game, and thanks to all the viewers for joining us. We do have 3 more draws today, 12:30, 5 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. Saskatchewan time. If you're working off the Eastern time zone, you want to add 2 hours to that. That's 2:37 and 10:30 p.m. Well, what a great match. On behalf of Curling Stadium and the entire crew, Rory McCusker, James Gordon, Jerry Gertz, my name is Jason Chang. We'll be back again this afternoon for continuing coverage of Curling Stadium, Martensville International.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
For victims of domestic abuse, fleeing may mean leaving everything behind. There is hope. SaskTel provides brand new cell phones so that starting over is possible. Learn more at sasktel.com/fresh start.